Hi, so today I'd like to talk about dyslexia and how this can affect the learning of grammar, particularly when learning other languages. So according to the OED, grammar is the art and science of dealing with a language's inflections or other means of showing relation between words as used in speech and writing and its phonetic system. Okay, so that is a bit of a mouthful, but some aspects of grammar would include the ordering of words. If words are in one order, it may be a question. If they're in another order, it may be a statement. The endings that we put on words to make them plural or to change the tense. Other things like apostrophes. Yeah, I know that's punctuation, but it also has a grammatical meaning. The names of words like possessive, pronoun, all of those things are grammar. So why might this be difficult for someone with dyslexia? So to use grammar or to learn grammar, you have to be able to sequence. So that means putting things in their right order. So the numbers 1 to 10, you count from 1 to 10, that's a sequence. But sequencing in language learning or if you're in an academic setting means reading and writing. That means tracking left to right along a line, and this is a thing which is difficult for dyslexics to do. And it can be, someone's eyes aren't fusing properly. There can be any number of reasons for dyslexia. It's quite a complex thing, and that's another video. So someone with dyslexia trying to read along a line, trying to focus and understand one word, then focus and understand the next word, and so on and so forth, especially as there may be visual distortions going on all at the same time. Well, they usually are actually. So by the time they've come to the end of the line, can you imagine, it's hard, retaining the meaning or remembering what the sentence meant in the first place. So it causes difficulties in concentration and retaining focus there. So for instance, so if you add grammar on top of that, so let's take the sentence, if I had known you were coming, I would have baked a cake. Okay, so the dyslexic person has got to read along that line and remember the words in the sentence, remember the meaning in the sentence. If I had known, so if is obviously that makes the sentence conditional. So you got moving parts already. I had known, pluperfect tense. You were coming, imperfect tense, past imperfect. I would have conditional, baked a cake. That's the past tense. So you got at least 4 different tenses in that sentence to begin with. So imagine retaining the meaning of all that. Now imagine you're doing that in your second language. So let's pretend English is your second language. and you've got dyslexia. So this just makes it really doubly hard, or doubly, triply to the power of whatever, really hard for people with dyslexia when they're, not only when they're learning their own language, but it's even worse when they're learning another language. And am I saying that people with dyslexia can't learn language? No, absolutely, that is not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the aspect of language that deals with reading. And a lot of language learning is done via reading. We think about language learning in a classroom setting. So that is just, one small aspect of it. Dyslexics often learn to compensate by having a really good memory in other ways. So say you have people going to another country, maybe for work, maybe for study, and they take a job, maybe in a kitchen setting, and within months they have a really good grasp of the target language. That is another way of learning a language. And that often happens, especially when people, are in their late teens, early 20s. They have the capability at that time in their lives. And I don't just mean because they are young and they have the brain plasticity, but also their situation. They do have that capacity to learn a language to native, in a native-like way. So that aside, I kind of want to draw on my own experience here. Now, I don't have dyslexia myself. But I had a couple of years recently where reading really was, it was so tiresome. I just didn't want to do it because of the eye situation. And I've got plenty of other videos about that. But I want to compare and contrast just how much this can affect someone with a reading problem. I mean, it doesn't even need to be dyslexia. There are plenty of other things which make it difficult or impede reading. So I learned French at school. I was good at learning French. I got a really good grade. So for me, my primary way of getting to grips with a new language is to read, actually. So I now live in Norway. So obviously it's important to learn the language. But because of the difficulties with, getting the right glasses and what have you, for the hyperopia and the eyesight and the whole general thing, I've been less able to pick up vocabulary, because you can pick up a lot of vocabulary by reading, because you can read so much faster than you can hear or you can speak. So I know that I've been a little bit short on that. Now, I recently did a Norwegian test. I did well on the listening. I actually did very well on the reading, and also on the oral test. On the written test, I had a disappointingly low mark. I mean, I still had a pass, and a pass is a pass, but it was a very low one. And the reason for that is because my eyes were tiring so quickly during the test. I'm behind on my grammar because grammar means you have to, like I've just said, you have to be able to sit and read and sequence and, you know, be able to retain what you've just read along a line. So, you know, from anyone who's seen my other videos, I've been reading like this. So great power, rank or eminence, great nobility of character. So I've been really unable to scan a page because the page moves. And that, you know, this is just hard going and it is not suited to learning grammar. The great thing is there are YouTube videos. So Norsclara Carens, she is brilliant. So that's picked up some of the slack and that's actually, you know, helped me out quite a bit, but it's honestly not the same as being able to look at a whole page in one go and to see where things fit and, you know, just to be able to look at stuff and not have everything move around on the page. So I should really love to hear from, if any of my listeners are dyslexic, I would so love to hear from you because I should love to hear your angle about this. Whether you might find grammar really easy and I could be totally barking up the wrong tree here. But, you know, these are my thoughts. I should love to hear yours and your experiences. So, yeah, please like, subscribe, and hope to see you in my next video.